items on the agenda. Fairfield is back again for their approval. They were in the last meeting on the 19th, and we tabled it to this evening. They did not receive the preliminary and final approval they were requesting, and they asked them to come back with more detail, which they did do, and I think we're in decent shape now. So I just want to do a little presentation.
Good evening. I'm Josh Huff, Civil Engineer with the High School Company. Appreciate you letting us come before you guys again. Just wanted to give you a quick update since our last meeting on the 19th. First of all, at the meeting, one of the neighbors had expressed some concerns, Erica, and we met with her afterwards, and I just wanted to let you guys know that we were able to talk through her concerns. She was concerned about the sewer and then about drainage, and we were able to discuss those and take care of the concerns that she was having at the time. So that was a good conversation, and we're able to take care of that. And then the other thing, since our last meeting, we did submit the consolidation plat, so that has been submitted to the town, and we also submitted the subdivision documents as well. So those have all been turned out.
Again, we didn't close the public hearing, we left it open, and anticipating any neighbors that had any comments after their presentation that never had a chance to vocalize if anyone wishes to speak either for or against this project. Not seeing anyone? Not seeing anyone. Okay, then what we're going to do at this point, I'm going to close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. We've all been through this thing. This project, if there's ever been a project in this town, it's been reviewed by more engineers, attorneys, and so on. I don't know what it ever was. So it's gone through the whole routine. And based on that, I think we're in pretty good shape. If there's any questions anybody has to ask the applicant? Anybody? No? I think you did a great job. Yeah, I think you did a very good job. We've got this, you're applying for a sign too, correct?
We did include additional sign information.
I think why don't we do this? You guys agree we keep the sign as a separate item at the end? Like any project, we always have the approval and then just have a motion for the sign, right? Sure. You agree? Yep. Okay, we'll do that. All right, so based on that, oh man, let's see. You're gonna have to bear with us here, folks. There's papers and they all have to be entered in, and it's gonna be a whole lot of reading. Nothing we all want to do, but it's got to be done. So based on that, at this point, I think I'll make a motion for a preliminary site plan approval for the Fairlife project. And we'll start with this. Whereas Fairlife LLC, the applicant, has applied to the planning board for subdivision approval combined into a single new 5-lot adjoining lots totaling approximately 110 acres at the end of T-Borough Road. And the applicant has applied to the planning board for preliminary and site plan approval for a milk processing facility, and it's consisting of multiple buildings and exterior equipment, storage tanks, related parking, utilities, grading, and landscaping to be located on the premises. And whereas a notice of a public hearing of this matter was duly published in the town official newspaper on September 13th, 23, and September 27th, and posted in the town's bulletin board as required by the town of Webster Code 269-8. Whereas said public hearing was in fact conducted by the town planning board on the 19th of September at 7 p.m. in town board meeting room, and all interested persons were heard, and the matter was discussed, and the public hearing was continued to this meeting at the request of the applicant. And said public hearing was in fact conducted by the town planning board on October 3rd, 2023 at 7 p.m. in the town board planning room, meeting room, and all interested persons were heard and the matter was fully discussed. And whereas the planning board makes the following finding. The project is classified as a type 1 action pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act, and its implemented regulations, and this is the secret process. The project was the subject of coordinated environmental review, for which the town board was the lead agency for this project. And the planning board was an involved agency. And on September 7th, following the review of the full environmental assessment form, the supplemental information provided by the applicant and other interested or involved parties, the town board issued a negative declaration pursuant to seeker indicating that there would be no significant adverse environmental impact. And on September 12th, the zoning board of appeals approved all the necessary variances relating to placement of 2 separate fences within the buffer area and to the height of the automated storage and retrieval system warehouse and the milk and processed liquid storage silos. In its role as the lead agency, the town board exercised due diligence in identifying and notifying involved agencies, including the planning board, and pursuant to the secret regulations, section 617.6b. The lead agency's negative declaration is binding on all involved agencies, including the planning board. So the planning board has considered the lead agency's negative declaration and reviewed additional detailed information related to traffic, buffering, noise, lighting, stormwater management, and other relevant issues. The planning board finds that the project is consistent with the project reviewed by the zoning board of appeals and that to the maximum extent possible, the minimum requirements of the town zoning ordinance have been met. And number 8 is the planning board finds that the project will meet the standards and requirements of the town code. It recommends to the town board approval of the application for an industrial use permit subject to the conditions of this site plan approval and such other conditions as the town board may deem fit and appropriate. So there now for let it be resolved that seeker regulation requirement, no further environmental review of the project by the planning board. And it's resolved that the requirements of the town code 296-19 and 296-21 that grade level at the front of the building line shall be 1/4 inch per foot above the center of the road is hereby waived due to the topography within the subdivision, including the observations that the premises is a 110-acre property with the building structures, roads, sidewalks, lawns, and parking lots, having positive drainage to the stormwater management system, including the dry swales. And it's resolved that the site plan is hereby granted preliminary approvals pursuant to Town Code Section 269-11 is the subject of the following conditions. All improvements, modifications, and/or restoration efforts to Tibor Road, Basket Road, and the truck turnaround provided at the eastern terminus of Tibor Road, including but not limited to intersections, widening, geometry, and alignment modifications, striping, or turning lanes, installations, and so forth, shall meet the standards as established by the Town of Webster Highway Superintendent, and the authorities have jurisdiction and shall be completed in the effort and expense of the applicant, including design, permitting, approvals, construction, and inspection. All improvements relating to Tibor Road, Basket Road, and the truck turnaround shall be that means it's very good. All right. Where is it? Let me see. Number 2. Okay, so we'll go right to that. And let's see. Number 2. The applicant recognizes that while a future extension of the Route 104 multi-use trail has been proposed east-west along the southern property boundary line at the time of site plan approval, no construction plans, financing, or project sponsors for the said trail are in place. The applicant shall retain a sufficient area of 20 feet in continuous width along the southern property boundary to the Ontario, Midland, Livonia, Avon, Lakeville Railroad property boundary. This is parallel to the Ontario, Lakeville Radio, and so on. It's in their same tracks. Short a little bit here. And it is to be unencumbered by surface improvements. For further dedication of an easement to Monroe County or its designee for the purposes of the construction and maintenance by others of the future multi-use trail. And provided that there are no significant changes to the signage as presented to the planning board on September 19th, submit building and monument on-site and off-site signage plan to the Director of Community Development for approval and subdivision for approval to the Zoning Board of Appeals if applicable. Submit maintenance and protection of traffic signs for on-site vehicular movement along with the building permit application. You don't need that, right? Okay, we'll skip that. Let's do it. And let's see, getting bored yet? I'm getting tired. Okay. Provide detailed plans, a basis of design report for the pre-treatment wastewater treatment plant, and that's the WWTP, is a schedule for the ramp up of flows in the flow metering system, and the discharge from the pre-treatment water system, and provide an engineering report and basis of design. Design plans and details for the on-site water treatment, and this is public and private. And the on-site sanitary sewer system, public and private also, and secure all the necessary permits and approvals, and as applicable, provide a statement of dedication of utilities. And let's see, we're getting there, folks. Bear with me. And the applicant shall combine the lots and develop the premises in conformity with all details of the proposal as presented in the written descriptions and site development plans dated September 29, 23, is orally presented to the planning board and is set forth herein. In the event of any conflict among the oral or written descriptions of the proposal, the site development plans of the proposal, or the requirements or restrictions of this resolution, which the Director of Community Development cannot resolve to his satisfaction and satisfaction of the applicant agrees that the planning board shall resolve such review and resolve such dispute. The applicant shall obtain all other necessary town, county, state, and federal government approvals or permits that are required for the project and premises, including a permit for connection to county or state roads, approval of the water system, approval of the pre-treatment water WWTP. And the town shall be provided with copies of records of applications for and approval status of all such other necessary permits. The applicant is responsible for removal and proper off-site disposal of any brush, trees, and debris from any lot clearing. Topsoil excavations from the premises during the cleaning and grubbing operation shall remain on site. Off-site water mains and fire hydrants shall be installed and be in proper operating condition prior to the commencement of any enclosed construction. No building permits shall be issued until all sheets in the applicable drawing set with all necessary signatures have been provided to the town. Suitable access roads and temporary street signs shall be installed and maintained so as to provide continuous access for fire department and other emergency vehicles prior to the commencement of any enclosed construction. Prior to issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall submit to the town evidence in the form of a certified copy of the deed or an attorney's certificate of title, and is checked against the plat boundaries that demonstrates that the applicant owns the premises, and a tax cert showing no unpaid taxes. The applicant shall submit to the town evidence that the notice of intent is to be covered by Speedy's permit for stormwater discharge from construction activity applicable to the 110 acres and premises has been filed with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. If a NOI is not already on file with the New York State DEC, then throughout the life of the stormwater permit, from filing of the notice of intent, the notice of termination, the applicant shall comply fully with all aspects of the DEC general code that number noted here. The planning board acknowledges that the final locations and dimensions of the proposed improvements included but not limited to buildings, utilities, paved areas, and other fixed improvements within the premises ordinarily subject to site plan approval may be subject to minor changes or adjustment under the requirements of New York State building and fire codes and New York State environmental conservation law and or the town of Webster industrial use permit. Such minor changes are deemed to be approved and consistent with the intent of this site plan approval, provided they occur during design, permitting of construction and prior to issuances of certificates of occupancy for the original project, unless otherwise determined by the Director of Community Development. Any changes to locations or dimensions of proposed improvements which the Director of Community Development determines not to be consistent with the intent of this approval shall be subject to planning board approval. This condition is generally applicable to the area of the premises within the security fencing shown on the approval site plan, and it shall not be construed to authorize construction of any facilities outside of the security fence or beyond the scope of facility operations as proposed. The applicant shall, as a condition, proceed to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy for any building, submit to the building inspector a certificate of the registered architect or licensed engineer who signed the plans submitted to the building inspector with the application for such building permit that such building has been substantially completed in accordance with the plans and specifications therefore approved by the building inspector, and shall provide an as-built drawing within 6 months after the commencement of production and upon completion of all proposed improvements, and shall be prepared by a New York State licensed land surveyor and New York State licensed professional engineer. Said as-built shall include buildings, building pad elevations and exterior utilities, including inverts and rim elevations, paved areas, final grading, certificate, and entire site and other fixed improvements is completed. In addition to the certification by the applicant's representatives, as required by New York State law, the required map signatures are those of the town engineer, highway superintendent, assessor, fire marshal, planning board chair, Webster Sewer District, staff, and Monroe County Health Department and Monroe County Water Authority. And all plans required to be filed with Monroe County shall be filed. The applicant's design professionals shall address final engineering comments and concerns, including but not limited to the following: provided technical specifications proposed for construction prior to the pre-construction meeting. Provide landscape plans sealed and signed by a New York State licensed landscape architect, along with a written detailed discussion of the plantings chosen. Since the direct electrical connections to the substations are underground, provide the location and detail for the transfer switch that the commercial generator can be hooked up to in the event emergency generator power is needed. And further development and or additional structures that are not shown on the approved site plan will not be permitted on the premises if the Director of Community Development determines such development or structures are not consistent with the intent of the site plan approval. And provide a letter of credit in the form acceptable to the town attorney and the town board. And all of these conditions of site plan approval by the planning board shall be listed on the cover sheet of the final plans, along with the date and approval. I'm almost there. Just a few more. Secure an industrial use permit from the Webster Town Board and comply with said approvals and conditions, if any. Address New York State DEC's comments on the stormwater pollution prevention plan and requirements, and obtain and provide to the Director of Community Development acknowledgement letter permit from the DEC confirming applicant is satisfied in New York State DEC with the requirements of the SWIFT report, and we have done that. And execute a stormwater management agreement with the town. And the stormwater management agreement will outline the requirements and responsibilities of the applicant relative to the on-site stormwater infrastructure improvements, including but not limited to stormwater detention ponds, storm sewers, manholes, downspouts, and storm sewer inlets and outlets, or other components that make up the stormwater handling system. And that's it for now. So that being a motion, you need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Mr.
Chairman.
Kashani.
Aye.
Mr. Jordan.
May I interrupt for one brief thing? I'm Tom Walsh. I'm the attorney for Fairlife. And as you read the approval resolution, we're seeking both preliminary and final site plan approval.
Yeah.
So that which is sort of requirement before we can get the industrial use permit. And I just wanted to make sure, I thought I heard only preliminary approval was being given.
Okay, what we do at approval on a project, we
Yes,
first give preliminary approval.
yes.
If that passes, we'll request the board for final approval, that's the second one. If the board goes with that, that'll be second approval for it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize for interrupting. I just wanted to
Yeah.
help us all do it right.
Okay, you're okay.
Thank you.
We understand. All right. I'm sorry, got messed up. I made a motion, you second,
Right.
you call the roll, sir.
Mr. Kashani.
Aye.
Mr. Giardina.
Yes.
Mr. Malta.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Kosel.
Aye.
Mr. Mixel.
Aye.
Mrs. Wright.
Aye.
Okay, along with that then now, we need someone for final approval. Mark, you want to do that? Mark, want to make the final approval?
Okay. We'll start with the whereas.
No, you got just basically resolved it.
Subject to all preliminary approval conditions, so no further development of this site is the,
That's correct.
okay. And that is
And significant construction.
significant construction shall occur within 1 year as deemed by the planning board to expire on October the 3rd, 2024.
Okay, that being the motion?
That's a motion.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
And a second?
Mr. Giardina.
Aye.
Mr. Malta.
Aye.
Mrs. Wright.
Aye.
Mr. Mixel.
Aye.
Mr. Kosel.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Kashani.
Aye. All right, we also have to do is approvals for a preliminary subdivision approval.
Yep, I would like to make a motion for Fairlife LLC preliminary subdivision approval. Whereas Fairlife LLC, the applicant, has applied to the planning board for subdivision approval to combine into a single new lot 5 adjoining lots totaling approximately 110.4 plus or minus acres at the end of Tibor Road, referred to as the premises. And whereas the applicant has applied to the planning board for preliminary subdivision approval for a milk processing facility, the project, future referred to, consisting of multiple buildings and exterior equipment, storage tanks, related parking, utilities, grading, and landscaping to be located on the premises. And whereas notice of a public hearing of this matter was duly published in the town's official newspaper on September 13th, 2023, and September 27th, 2023, and posted on the town's bulletin board as required by the Webster Town Code, section 269-8. And whereas said public hearing was in fact conducted by the town planning board on September 19th at 7 p.m. in the town planning board meeting room, town board meeting room, and all interested persons were heard, and the matter was discussed, and the public hearing was continued to this meeting at the request of the applicant. And whereas said public hearing was in fact conducted by the town planning board on October 3rd at 7 p.m. in the town board meeting room, and all interested persons were heard and the matter was fully discussed. And whereas the planning board makes the following findings. The project is classified as a type 1 action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, New York State Environmental Conservation Law, Article 8, and its implementing regulations, SEPA Regulations 6 NYCRR Part 617, collectively known as SEEKR. The project was the subject of a coordinated environmental review for which the town board was lead agency and the planning board was an involved agency. On September 27th, following the review of the full environmental assessment form and September 7th, what did I say?
27.
27th, September 7th, 2023, thank you. Following the review of the full environment assessment form and supplemental information provided by the applicant and other interested or involved parties, the town board issued a negative declaration, excuse me, pursuant to seeker indicating that there would be no significant adverse environmental impact. On September 12, 2023, the Zoning Board of Appeals approved all the necessary variances relating to placement of 2 separate fences within the buffer area and to the height of the automated storage and retrieval system, warehouse, and the milk and liquid and processed liquid storage silos. In its role as lead agency, the town board exercised due diligence in identifying and notifying involved agencies, including the planning board, and pursuant to the seeker regulation section 617-B, section 3, paragraph 3.
That's good.
Good enough?
It's in, we'll have that anyways in the record, so, yeah.
The lead agency's negative declaration is binding on all involved agencies, including the planning board. The planning board has considered the lead agency's negative declaration and reviewed additional detailed information related to the traffic, buffering, noise, lighting, stormwater management, and other relevant issues. The planning board finds that the project to be consistent with the project reviewed by the Zoning Board of Appeals, and that to the maximum extent possible, the minimum requirements of the town zoning ordinance have been met. The planning board finds that the project will meet the standards and requirements of Webster Town Code Section 350-22D2 and recommends to the town board approval of the application for an industrial use permit subject to the conditions of the site plan approval and such other conditions as the town board may deem fit and appropriate. Now therefore be it resolved. Resolved that the seeker regulations require no further environmental review of the project by the planning board. Resolved that the subdivision combining into a single new lot, the 5 adjoining lots totaling approximately 110.4 acres at the end of Tibor Road is hereby granted final approval. This is preliminary approval, isn't it?
Yes.
Preliminary approval pursuant to Town Code Section 296-191C, subject to the following conditions. And this one is going to take me a minute, so bear with me. I presume I need to read every single one of these numbers into the record.
I don't think you have to go
Do I
through the
need
notes.
to read all of this?
No, because that'll be in the record anyways. There are the different parcels, there are 5 different parcels. Right, do you agree? Yes. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so am I good with the first part? Let's skip this part.
Yeah, still go up to the next one.
Okay, so 1, the applicant shall first cause that the parcel of real property tax, there's all of the parcels that are shown on Exhibit A, all of the different tax parcels and how they're being combined is included on Exhibit A. And it's attached to this motion and made part hereof. The applicant shall execute and record all deeds and maps no later than October 31st, 2023. The applicant shall place the following certificates on the subdivision's plat map. A, it is hereby certified that all lots shown hereon fully comply with the zoning ordinance, chapter 350, and the subdivision rules and regulations of the town of Webster. B, the subdivision is well drained and is not subject to flooding or standing water. C, all sanitary sewers are and/or shall be installed in compliance with the specifications and sewer policy of the town of Webster. And D, all right-of-ways for public utilities indicated on this map shall be considered temporary easements to the town of Webster, which easements shall be made for the purpose of ingress and egress to maintain utilities, and the town may also assign such easements for the purpose of extending utilities. And that's the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay,
I got a motion.
Mrs. Wright,
Before we vote, as I'm sure, board members can just show by raising their hand, everyone has a copy of Exhibit A, which are the individual persons.
On the back. Right there, you got it.
By show of hands, everybody has that? Okay, record should reflect everyone raised.
Okay, we have a motion for preliminary subdivision approval. Second.
Mrs. Wright,
Aye.
Mr. Giardina,
Aye.
Mr. Mixel,
Aye.
Mr. Kosel,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Malta, Mr. Kashani.
Aye. Everybody's still awake? I don't believe this. It's not good.
Levity.
Well, you enjoyed it so much, we'll do another one then here. No, this one, we've got one more, but you know what, Derek, I think we have to do a final subdivision, but it's really similar to, you know, the approval for the second approval. What you could do is just make it, if you want, make it, instead of reading all that, just a duplicate of the preliminary, you can just make it subject to all items that were in the preliminary subdivision approval, if you want to do that.
I'd like to make a motion for final subdivision approval for,
Subject to all conditions.
subject to all conditions of the preliminary approval.
Yeah, preliminary, preliminary subdivision.
Preliminary subdivision.
Okay, that's a motion, need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Mixel,
Aye.
Mr. Giardina,
Aye.
Mrs. Wright,
Aye.
Mr. Kosel,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Malta, Mr. Kashani.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, well, we've got that all taken care of. What do we have? We were talking about the sign, correct? Okay, if you got your sign, can you show it, and so people know what we're talking about? I think it's pretty nice looking sign, right?
Yeah, so after the meeting last time, we went and took the signs and added some dimensions to it. Before they were just showing the layouts, and so I'll show those on here. So we did add some additional, sorry, the mouse isn't touching, sorry. I'm just gonna leave it right there. So we did add some additional dimensions and some additional notes just to clarify the intent and to show you that we're meeting the town code. So this is the sign at the auto entrance, and we show the daytime and nighttime image. And then this is the sign at the truck entrance. And then we added additional notes and dimensions, and then also the daytime and nighttime images. And then this last one is the sign that's on the building. So this is at the office entrance, and you can kind of see it's, since it is such a large building, we wanted to show the size of the building and where this is located. It's just on the office entrance. And then we zoomed in, you can see it's right here at the where the entrance is, and this shows a little bit more clarity of what this sign looks like. And those would be three signs we wanted to show.
Should the address be larger, in your opinions? Anyone?
What's it?
The address on here for the sign, you got Fairlife, and you got looks like 460 Basket Road, that's office, compared to the Fairlife. I mean, you got enough room there in the blue area to make it bigger.
You're referring to the actual address, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it would be possible to increase the size slightly.
Immaterial to me. If you guys feel that it should be increased, go for it.
Just asking for everyone's opinion.
I think it's fine, the size it is, it fits nice, it's centered, it's legible, it's lit up at night. And I know maybe it seems like it's a little smaller, because this is a small picture, but when it's in real life, I think it'll be plenty, that's my opinion.
Okay, leave it the way it is. All right, Josh, sizes, the new code?
Yes,
Okay, so everything's good with that?
correct.
To me, they look, they're nice looking sign. I like the idea that you've got it toned down at night where you still see it, but it's not glaring out. That's great. Okay, need a motion for a sign? I'll make a motion, we approve the Fairlife signs, the 3 signs as proposed. And get that the numbers as proposed, I'll leave it at
I'll
that.
second that.
Okay, the motion is second.
Mr. Kashani?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mrs. Wright?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
And Mr. Malta?
Okay, is that it? I think that's all we've got, isn't it?
I think so.
Pretty much covered, Josh?
I think so.
Good. Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you, we really appreciate
It's
it.
been an interesting ride.
Yes. Thank you for all your help, we really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome to town.